And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the CBLoL match 2, game 2, Team 1 taking game 1 over INTZ. And INTZ obviously trying to get one back. First ban's already flying in, so let's see where this is heading.
Another Rakan ban out from Team 1, or ONE, whichever they prefer, is they're opting into not want to play against it. Karma and Kennen as well for INTZ as a response. Syndra taken off the board. No surprises really here. Kennen, we've talked about it, being really favored as of late. So good into that Galio, into that Gragas, which are very, very popular right now. Ashe, going to be banned out from Team 1. So, for whatever reason, taking that off the board. Macau not going to get that champion. We'll see what is responsible.
I'd assume we see a Galio ban, or I don't know, maybe a Zaya ban.
Galio.
It's a Galio ban.
No surprise, but Elise is left on the table though, so I imagine one's going to try to first pick that as it is considered probably the strongest jungler right now.
That's definitely open. Other than that, we have the Lucian. I'm not sure if that's a first pick, really. Maybe it's the first pick in Brazil. But it looks like Turtle, who came in for Shinny here, is really looking forward to playing that Elise. And I can't, I can't say he's wrong with that. I do think that Lucian is not really, first pick worthy, honestly.
I think Lucian isn't. I would agree with you. I wouldn't really first pick Lucian, but he does offer some flex pick of potential if you wanted to go with something like that. He did offer the Ahri right there, but he's gonna start back to some other champions, so they could be playing some mind games. Can be Lucian mid, can even be Lucian top, as we've seen when he play it.
Yeah, but for that, you obviously need Galio really in the mid lane. Otherwise, you don't really have a tank.
Unless you pick an Olaf in the jungle.
I don't think that's quite enough, but maybe it is. Maybe Team 1 is crazy enough to pull that out. I don't know. They have one more pick to take, and I do think a support for the first rotation would be quite nice. There's the Braum, really pairing nicely with that Lucian, obviously.
So that will be a Lucian bot lane, more than likely.
So now, INTZ still with a lot of potential to pick great champions here. Orianna is still open. We still have, how's he called? Jarvan the Fourth, still there. Thresh, yeah, nice as well.
So it was going to be that support pick. Conventional wisdom tells you to pick your jungle and bot lane first rotation. You save your solo lanes for the second rotation, so you at least get one counter pick in the solo lane. That is unless you have Galio available to you and or Kennen. You tend to be very first pick worthy. Interesting to see that Zac has fallen so far down the totem pole after this nerf. I didn't anticipate this to be the case because of his still incredible solo queue rate, win rate. But it looks like pro teams have either figured out Zac or have decided that Zac doesn't have enough skirmishing potential after the damage nerfs.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure, the damage nerfs already, like the hotfix that came down mid-patch, already hit competitive. So the only thing that really changed, I think, was that the indicator for his E now spawns earlier, which obviously gives more time to react. Or am I wrong on that?
I don't know
pretty...
if that went live yet.
Let me. I don't know if it's live or competitive, but I think other than that, that's the only change in 7.11 to.
So it should be live in this game as well then too. It looks like Darius is going to be banned away from Team ONE, so taking AL off that champion, but AL will be getting the counter pick here as they save the top lane counter.
Oh no!
Select Orianna.
Sorry, I paused. Accidentally, but I think we should be still synced. It's 27, 26, 25.
I'm at 0. I'm at 5, 4, 3. So 26, 27, 25, 24, 23 with the last pick.
So I'm ahead of you. So let me pause at Team 1's second pick. Like last pick basically. And then I'll tell you the time. So we see Orianna and Ahri as the response. Team 125 is now for me.
All right, Team 1 selected Renekton as their last pick, so they're taking the Crocodile in the top lane. INTZ is on
Oh,
their
you're
last
ahead of
pick.
me.
Looks like we're at 20 seconds here for INTZ. I pause there. Pause at 20 seconds.
Okay, now I'm ahead of you again. I'm at 5 seconds, INTZ. I just hit live. I'm sorry.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to
So,
just pause it at. Do you have a time you paused it at?
5.
Okay.
INTZ last pick 5.
All right. So I am 7, 6, 5. I'm paused. All right. I'm paused. 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, we're back synced, and Renekton is being picked up, and obviously with a 7-11, boss again, he emerges with all his animation cancels and with all his power fully restored, so he's definitely looking forward to this game. Poppy being picked up.
I haven't seen a Poppy in quite a long time. Poppy does decent into Renekton as a tank. She can stop him. She's dashing. She's obviously very tanky. Once she picks up any amount of armor, essentially, she just starts winning that lane. So I imagine her rushing that Sunfire Cape, maybe rushing the Deadman's instead of Sunfire, and then just going for the Iceborne Gauntlet. But she needs a little bit of help on that wave clear. So I do anticipate the Sunfire Cape coming out, but we'll end up seeing there. So it's interesting to see the Poppy. We haven't seen it in a long time. In terms of compositions as a whole, I really see Team 1 as a team that wants to snowball here. They have a lot of ways to run at you, but not a lot of ways to get out. They have a little bit of disengage from the Braum, but I anticipate that in the late game, INTZ's composition, I actually do favor that one, but we'll end up seeing.
So yeah, let's look at the two teams here. INTZ looks, sorry, that's Team 1 on the top. It looks very much ready. Seem to have some rituals going on there. They are obviously coming in here with the game 1 victory. And now let's look at the team comms again. Some nice skins coming out as well, with the toy Renekton as well. There's a lot of other things that I couldn't see quite in time.
Yeah, Renekton is a pretty great skin, but we are under the rift, so why don't you introduce us? Oh, we do get in pause. So we'll give us some time to give us some introductions, so why don't you start us off on the blue side there?
Yeah, on the blue side we have Team 1, who just faded off my screen. Let me try to do this from memory. In the top lane we have Vert on Renekton.
We can wait on the intros there.
No, I'm gonna do this.
Okay, alright.
I'm gonna do this. Or should I not? Like, be serious. If I shouldn't, tell me now.
Yeah, let's just wait on the
Oh, okay,
the
never mind.
there. I can only imagine what the pause is. It could be a Runes and Masteries deal, which you can pause if there is. We haven't seen the enemy yet, so it'll be probably a couple of minutes here. Then we'll be back onto the rift. Obviously, in terms of scaling, you have that Poppy in the top lane, scales like a monster because how good she is or how much MR and armor she has naturally in her kit. Looks like we'll be back on the rift here in about a second, or no, they're just showing us the League of Legends logo. Pretty cool stuff. Look at that thing.
Pretty cool, game. Would recommend. 5 out of 10.
5 out of 7. 5 out of 7.
Yeah.
We're just looking over a couple of players' faces as we wait for this pause to end. Looks like a couple of faces of boredom there, but I'm trying to remember these compositions now. We have a Xayah and a Thresh, side of INTZ. Again, we see the matchup of Xayah Thresh into the Lucian Braum.
Yeah, and that, as we saw in the first game, kind of favors the side of INTZ. In the mid lane, we have Envy now on... Okay, let's actually do the rundowns now. We have Vert on Renekton on the blue side for Team 1. Forlan in the jungle on that. Olaf. Bruiser, in the mid lane on Ari. Absolute as the AD carry on Lucian. And supported he is by Redbird on Braum. Yeah.
And on the team of ITZ, we have Ayel in the top lane on Poppy. Turtle jungling with Elise. Envy playing mid lane. Oriana. Macau playing AD carry Zaya, and Jockster supporting his team on Thresh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those teams are willing to give us some nice entertainment in this game too.
Am I crazy or is Forlan a sub?
Could be.
I don't remember his name in the last game.
No, Forlan was in the last game.
He was?
Yeah.
Oh,
Turtle
okay.
actually got switched in for Shinny.
Yes. Okay. So we did have a sub in the jungle. Was Turtle?
Forlan was on that Olaf right there, right then.
Yeah. So Olaf is able to clear by himself. He doesn't need anyone to leash him. So Renekton going to be heading into the top lane. They don't know where the Olaf is starting. They know he's not on his red though, so he could be on his Raptors right now, or he could be on the blue side. That's what INTC's telling themselves right now. Renekton and the Poppy there in the top lane, as well as we have this bot lane that we're watching here of Jokester and Macau did get the better of Absolute there in the bot lane last game. We'll see if their fortunes switch up here.
AL on the Poppy, I'm not sure if I agree with that pick that much because I don't think that the itemization for tanks is really great right now. We have seen obviously nerfs to the standard way of playing tank, so I'm not
Yeah,
sure if I agree with this one, but obviously against the Renekton, he is kind of strong due to that steadfast presence.
I mean, it's not great matchup, but Renekton still definitely has the pressure there, and it's going to inhibit Elise's ability to be able to pressure the jungle, but it's doable in terms of the matchup. Not like a Galio. Galio just generally gets destroyed by Renekton, so...
And to be fair, INTZ definitely with some very decent champions in the rest of the lanes, so maybe they just want to get something with utility down. Woo, that was a flash cocoon onto Bruiser, but stuck on a minion. Nice reaction there. Flash coming out from him.
Yeah,
Well,
there's some professional reactions right there as Brewster flashes instantly once he sees
script,
Elise on
script,
the screen.
script. Immediately
Scripting.
the chat going wild, obviously. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt here and say he has crazy good reactions, and that's probably even true.
Yeah, I don't think you can really script on land, so it'd be
People
it would
say
be.
that, and some people say you can. So,
Yeah,
um,
who knows? Who knows?
yeah, it's always like there's always the thought in the back of the mind: what if this is all fake? Um, what if this is even all scripted in another way? But let's not think about that. That's really
Olaf
not
gonna
anyone's
find Elise
concern.
here.
Let's just assume this is all real for now, because it's really not.
Yeah, it's just
Um,
let's just uh let's just go on about casting as if this is
yeah.
actually not scripted, but um pretty slow early game here.
I mean, in the end, we're here to have fun, and what fun would it be to say, "Oh, it's all just scripters, and this is all not real." But anyway, let's get away from that topic. Let's get back to this game. Mountain Drake is the first Drake in this game, and obviously Team One and INTZ with some decent early pick and fighting potential. So both of them are looking definitely at taking one of those.
Indeed, they will. The Mountain Drake would be especially nice for this Zaya. Can shred Baron and Dragon with that, so would be nice for her. As we see the Olaf gonna invading the top side of the jungle of this Elise. No successful ganks have been done so far. The one cocoon that Turtle has thrown into a lane was flashed away by Bruiser, so no blood early here. As we are seeing small CS advantages for the Renekton in the top lane and the Zaya in the bot lane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Zaya actually relatively far ahead. That is, if every farmer is picked up, that is going to be a 3 or 4 CS lead. So that's quite decent at 5 minutes, if I say so myself. Um,
Well, the Renekton is
uh,
at a 12 CS lead right now, so
yeah, that's even more. But I'm not sure how many minutes are there under the turret. Actually, it's pretty even. So yeah, that's gonna definitely go in favor of Vert here, and he is probably looking for an early back to, get the put down his foot, get the advantage down for realsies.
Yeah. And not a lot of kill pressure right now, especially with that Doran shield regenning that Poppy up, and especially on Poppy, she gets additional resistances from her W passive, so that means the health that you are regenning is worth more because there's more armor to break through on each point of health that she gets back with that. So Poppy is going to be very safe here, and I don't anticipate that Renekton at this point anymore is going to be able to get a solo kill onto the Poppy. It will have to come from the Olaf diving her.
I don't think that diving Poppy is a very good decision in general, especially now because Ale just hit level 6. So I do think that unless Ale does a massive mistake, he will get out safe out of that lane.
Yeah, he'll just be down, around 15 or 20 CS. Nothing surprising really. As we do see, the second round of buffs have spawned. Still no blood. It's one of the more exciting things to cast in League of Legends is when no kills in the early game.
It definitely, puts down the anticipation. But here is Fallan coming into the lane, but Redbird is actually taking most of the punishment from that. So
So Phil Gig once again here. He had Forland trying to make something happen on the bot side of the map. Looks like Mount Drake going to be started here by INTZ. The failed gank means that the dual lane forced under tower. Forland just going to go clear as blue, and that's a free Mount Drake for INTZ.
yeah, very good. Reading the play in the bottom lane, knowing that Absolute and Redbird really can't come to contest, as well as Bruiser being very low on mana in the mid lane. So they're just saying, okay, this is a free Mountain Drake. Let's take it. Let's get ourselves ahead in. And Forlan, maybe he can pick up a buff here, but that's about it.
Yeah, so he's going to get the red buff consolation prize, but the all-in the mid lane.
Envy, nicely with the cleanse, but Bruiser is not quite done yet. Has to force the flash on Envy's side, and that with such little mana, that's actually quite impressive, if I'm quite honest. Bruiser wants to stick around, just to pick up the farm here. He's outside the vision radius, so Fallen and Bruiser think they push under an empty turret, but that is not the case.
Yeah, if Brewster just had a little bit more mana there, he would have easily picked up that kill on Envies. He had one more dash on his ultimate available to him, but he didn't have the mana for the dash and the Q. So Orianna Envy able to flash that one away and get out safely. But that is a summoner spell down. The flash in particular important for that Orianna. Brewster has his flash available to him. As we are seeing the all-in the bot lane.
Redbird with a Glacial Fissure coming down. They get the stun down onto Jogster. Good damage coming through. There's the culling as well. So much going down onto him. Jogster is alive, but they push him out, and he might not even be able to stay in lane. Meanwhile, Fallen here coming in as well. Obviously spotted by that pink ward. But this is going to be strange from Mikau. Nice hook coming down onto Redbird, and in the meantime, Absolute takes a lot of damage as well. And just like that, the lane is equalized, but there's one more person. Fallen getting a double slow down. Mikau taking a lot of damage. He wants to go for Jogster, though he doesn't really know who to take and can't follow Jogster any longer. Has to back off. They are taking damage on the turret right now, and I do think that's going to be that.
Yeah, they have an Olaf with red buff there available to keep blinking away at that turret. It is getting fairly low, but it's not dropping quite yet. Forlan getting very low, but he's going to give that solo gold over to the Lucian.
But meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we see another dive being prepared. It looks like one is going to be able to pick up the first blood turret here, giving the gold to Absolute. But on the other side, INTZ made the move, and they're taking down the turret from one as well.
This mid lane will get pressured here by Brewster, but he's not going to end up taking the tower. We'll get some poke damage, though, as a response, it looks like. INTZ not opting for the Rift Herald after the tower, so a pretty even trade, but slight advantage towards one because they did take the first turret gold.
Mhm. And especially putting it down onto Absolute really helps him quite a lot. They also, gave him a bit of free time against Mikau, so they're even in CS right now, and the first brick gold onto Absolute. That's gonna give him a decent amount of gold, and he's able to pick up his first item. He already, Blade of the Rune King, is there.
He has that full blade as compared to the Zaya, who has, yeah, she has the BF sword, so will be putting on damage, but doesn't have that sustain that she'll need in a 1v1. It looks like they're rotating Lucian up to the top side of the map. Braum with the Renekton down bot. They're trying to get Lucian sieging towers right now, but there's Poppy defending that, and I don't think that he has the damage to really deal with her.
But on the other side, Turtle, Mikau, and Jogster are preparing for either a dive or a turret take here. And I don't think Bird wants to Devine there. He will lose his turret. Redbird is also here now. Jumping in, gets the Frostbite onto... the Witch's Bite, sorry, onto Mikau. But he uses the Feather Storm. Really doesn't want to get stunned up by that slice... that... by Renekton.
Yes. I'm trying to
Not
remember
Slice
the
and Dice, the other
name.
one.
Yeah, Slice
Do you
and
know?
Dice is the E, Call of the Meek
Yeah.
is the Q, and Ruthless Predator is the W.
Ruthless Predator, that's it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Obviously putting down more than one stack of Frostbite, so they really don't want to deal with that.
Looks like Absolute will get the tower there at the top lane, so another solo gold turret over to Absolute. He's very, very, very strong right now. And they're going to get the Rift Herald as well. Forlang probably going to be taking that one up, and they might try to take mid lane with it.
Mm-hmm. Rift Herald almost going down. Not sure if they right now want to really do it. Absolute is obviously out of mana right now. Forlan, I think, has some gold to finish some items, so they might want to wait for just a bit and go for the mid lane.
Yeah, Absolute. Going to be able to pick up some Berserker Greaves. So I have the move speed.
Jogster is alone here. Turtle coming in from the side. Envy uses the shockwave on him onto himself and locks down Vert here. They pick up an easy first blood. Actually, I didn't even notice. Is being picked up by Turtle. Is gonna snowball him ahead a decent amount.
Yeah.
But now Redbird, not quite enough. The Glacial Fissure not knocking up anybody because, Turtle traveling almost parallel to it with the lantern.
Yeah, these are the games you like to cast. Is when First Blood comes at 13:30. INTZ looking for another dragon here though, so they're the ones who are going to start stacking here. Rift Herald has spawned. They are in the mid lane. They could try to take the mid lane tier 2. They have inside track on it.
They can't go through the funnel, but they get the kill onto Absolute in very quick way. Redbird taking a lot of damage as well, and just like that, the push is stopped. Really nicely done. I think there was a death sentence coming out, and that was that for Absolute.
Yeah, Absolute going to be end up dropping in not the greatest Rift Herald. They would have been able to take that mid lane tier 1 without it, and they don't get anything on the tier 2. Cocoon.
Oh, that's the Feather Storm Blade Caller immediately taking down Bruiser, and Redbird just following up. So much damage already onto Mikau, and they're gonna take this tier 1 turret. They are flanked here by the side. Here comes Renekton. He gets stunned up by the Cocoon, though. Nice death sentence, and he immediately drops it. Now Fallen might be in trouble, but Absolute coming in at the last second. They don't get the turret, but they get 4 kills here in quick succession.
Here's
So let's
the
see this
replay
one
of
more
that
time.
flash Cocoon. Really nicely played there by Turtle. He catches the Ari out, and she's going to end up dropping. Ragnarok saving the Olaf there. They pick up a support there under tower as well very easily. And Inster's just trying to defend that tower in positions they weren't, they just couldn't. and they end up dropping 3 because of it. The Renekton tried to flank a little bit later on with teleport play, and it didn't work out. He just popped very quickly. Not that tanky yet. He only has those. He only had the Black Cleaver available to him, so just not that much in terms of resistances, and he just dropped fairly quickly.
I mean, let's be fair here. You said they tried to defend in positions where they couldn't. They actually did keep their turret.
They did.
After all,
They lost bodies for it though.
yeah. Um, and the turret is obviously the next kind of goal for INTZ here, and I think they might be able to find an angle here relatively soon.
Yeah. As no, you're not.
Hello?
Sorry about that. As we had a little bit of technical difficulties there. We're good now though.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't catch what you said there right at the end.
I think I didn't really say much.
Okay. Yeah, as we are seeing, we had the full Sunfire Cape out from the Poppy. She'll be okay in that 1v1 in the top lane. 2 kills onto the Oriana, as well as 3 assists. She's in a very nice spot. She has the full Morella Namicon, picking up a Banshee's Veil here will help her deal with the Ari. And Zaya about to finish that Essence Reaver. As we are seeing the
Yeah, he
Renekton in
is
advanced
worth
spot.
though. Oh, that's a bad jump over the wall. But he is actually, the slice and dice getting him over the wall. But Envy on the other side to just say no. But sadly, the pick goes over to Jockster. So the goal obviously a bit misplaced, but that's okay. I think they end the split pushing quite early, and now they're looking again for that mid lane turret.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to definitely be able to pick this one up now. That was actually decently played by Vert, but just didn't have enough damage. He's not far enough ahead of
Oh,
the Poppy.
Jockster might be in trouble. Nice dodge onto the charm. He actually jumps in the winter spite, the glacial fissure coming out. He is down, but Bruiser took a lot of damage, and Mikau is not quite done yet. Gets Redbird. Bruiser is getting out alive, but in the meantime, Fallen has been locked down. Almost goes down as well to INTZ, and the turret has fallen, but the tier turret is open now. Fallen and Bruiser both have to back off. And, the turret is almost open. Absolute trying to get something done with the culling, but Turtle just standing in the way, tanking it face first. They take another turret here. So that's already 4 turrets on the side of INTZ. 2 of them in the mid lane, which is very crucial as well.
Yeah, INTC taking control of this game, so showing why they were one of the better teams last split. They're gonna have to show me a little bit more to say that they're back to the 1 or 2 spot, but definitely showing that they're competitive with the some of the better teams. Seems like ONE is amongst those. They're gonna have to close out the game for sure, though. They're definitely not out of the woods, as the lead is only about 1K right now. But they do have a couple of dragons to their name. The next dragon gonna be an Infernal spawning in about a minute here. Baron gonna be spawning about 40 seconds. So INTZ, I expect them to try to set up some vision.
I do think that INTZ should prioritize that Infernal Drake first, because basically one can't really take the Baron right now, right as it spawns at 20 minutes. So I expect INTZ to focus their manpower down there, or their girl power actually, as they have 4 out of 5 female champions there. And then focus on the Baron once the team actually is able to take it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not something you could take right now, unless one completely mess up macro wise, or completely get caught out. 5 members get caught out, but definitely something you're going to start to want to establish vision control on, because vision control around it now means it's going to be easier to establish vision control around it in 4 or 5 minutes.
Spirit Rush cooldown forced by Bruiser. So that's gonna help them quite a lot in the next team fight. Spirit Rush not only a mobility tool, obviously, but also a very big damage tool. And one is at the Baron, but they really can't take it. Turtle, will he finish the dragon off? Ale is actually caught out in the middle, but a nice shockwave onto Absolute and Bruiser, putting down a lot of damage. They do take down Ale in the end, but Forlan is gonna get taken down in the front. Vert is now the next target. Turtle looking for the hook, can't get it quite down. So they trade 1 for 1 and get the Infernal Drake as well. And now INTZ turn onto the Baron to set up some vision. I don't think they can take it right now since Ale dropped in that fight.
Ale is down right now, so it's their main frontliner. You have like a pseudo frontliner in the Thresh, and I imagine that at least may build 1 or 2 tank items, but yeah, definitely not going to be able to tank the Baron, so therefore cannot take it. It will allow them to set up a little bit more vision in the area. We're sitting at about 21-30 right now. They did pick up the Infernal Dragon as well, so they went 1 for 1 in that fight, and they took the Infernal, so Ints are okay with that fight, although not completely ideal. They're okay with it.
It's gonna be fine. Ale, kind of made for exactly this role to soak up all the damage that he needs to, being the front line, being what prevents one from doing a place, and Baron definitely was one of the plays that he prevented here. Oh, the flash flail, just about missing. Look after the flash, the range on the flail almost still hit him. So that was a predictive flail, and it didn't end up hitting, which is very sad because it was a like a sick read, if I have to say myself.
It was nice. It didn't end up working out, but definitely still showing the mastery on that Thresh. It's always exciting to watch the Thresh right now. As Vert is getting collapsed on here. Orianna gonna go over the wall with the blast cone. Pompey giving chase. I
Yeah,
believe this is a
Darkster,
dead crocodile.
now the chance to get the revenge, and he gets the hook down. Vert
Aaron is
getting
on the other
taken
side of the map
down.
right now.
Yeah, that also cost the shockwave. One kind of being setting up a fanatic death Baron pit, I guess, but it's not gonna work out. Turtle not going near that shit.
Yeah, and it's just well played there for my Ints. They recognize that there was no real threat from one to take that. You think even with like 2 or 3 members, Ints would be able to stop the Baron and end up picking up a couple of kills. So understand that the threat wasn't really there, and they just collapse on the bot lane, take down Vert, and they're gonna set up the siege down on the tier 2 in the bot lane. No, rather they are gonna start rotating over this Baron.
Yeah, one more time. They want to get some vision down. Obviously, they lost a lot of that when one, got access to that area again while the pick went onto Vert. So INTZ definitely want to get some wards both in the jungle of one on the blue side as well as the Baron itself.
Yeah, so INTZ setting up vision right now. Gonna clear out a couple of wards, spot out a few more of them. The Baron dance has begun. I mean, for all of INTZ's advantages right now, they are only up 1.2k gold, which is not much at all.
Yeah, so they definitely have to be careful not to fall behind here relatively soon because there's really not much, dividing the two, even in the item count. If you look across the board, 2 items, 80 carries, 1.5 item mid laners. It's really very similar. The only thing that you could maybe argue is Turtle having an item advantage over Fallan, which is also not very substantial. So at this point, there's not much dividing the two teams other than skill, and INTZ and one definitely have a lot of that.
Indeed, they do. INTZ looking to maybe start this Baron here. It's gonna get spotted out on this pink ward though. But
Oh,
one
Envy
get a big
immediately
pick.
getting caught out on the side. Really, really nice charm coming down. Ale is not gonna make it out there. It's actually flashing the wall, and it seems to be getting. He seems to be getting out of there. Meanwhile, Turtle is locked down by Vert, and it's a 2-0 for Team One. And now it's 25:30 on the clock, and they have all the resources they need to take this Baron.
Yeah, that was a very big pick from Barrett actually at the end of there. Taking down the jungler means that you're able to take this Baron for free basically. And we just talked about how close these teams were, and one are able to capitalize on how close they were able to keep the game. They get the huge pick on Orianna. and they set up the team fight where they just get all the members of INTZ very, very low. See that replay of the pick. Very nice Death Fanatic brush set up there. They understand the Ono was rotating over. They didn't commit to the Baron too early. The Poppy almost falls here as well. Not going to be quite doing so. The play on the backside with the Renekton.
Everybody thought your hey Poppy is dead, right? No, no, no. She's actually, one of the original tanks, the never dead tanks. Okay, well she gets out. Never mind. We take a Baron, and that's exactly what they do. And that's kind of the problem that Ale is facing right now. Despite his, utility, he doesn't really have a lot that really makes him threatening, that really makes him a target. So all the tankiness he has really isn't that important.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a threat to the back line. He's going to mainly be used for that steadfast presence and the Keeper's Verdict. But unless he gets good Keeper's Verdicts off some team fight, he's really going to be struggling to prove useful to his team. We'll see if he's going to be able to do that in the later team fights. He's definitely opting for a very low damage build right now. He isn't going for Iceborne Gauntlet. He picked up the Frozen Heart instead.
And Verd again, could say picked out in the jungle there, but really he isn't. He's just surrounded by two members who can't kill him. So he just goes back in, Keeper's Verdict, smashing him out as well as his minions. But they're now back, and this tier 2 turret in the bottom lane is falling immediately.
Yeah, as well the tier 2 on the top side of the map. So one getting a lot for this Baron so far. Really would like to push toward an inhibitor, but they may not be able to do so.
INTZ definitely, preparing to get a get a base defense, really giving up all of their tier 2 turrets right now for free. And to be fair, they get some damage on the inhibitor turrets. Now the wave in the mid lane is going to crash in as well. So they have a 3-1-1 really going on, and that's going to be a hell of a lot of problems for INTZ to defend.
Yeah, INTZ trying to do their best, matching ADK in the top lane, top laners in the bot lane. And it looks like one are going to back off now. They're going to take their gold lead. They have about a 4k gold lead. That's actually quite a lot of gold for the Baron power play, but what ended up happening there is Ints picked up a 4th dragon. So Ints, even though they are down right now, and the Baron is on the side of 1, they have a win condition in the Elder Dragon. There will be a 4-dragon Elder Dragon, and 2 of them are going to be the Ocean Drake, so they will have a lot of sustain to be able to keep sieging. And so Ints is really looking towards taking that Elder Dragon, but there is going to be a 5th dragon spawning here. It's going to be Infernal, so one really hopes to take that next Infernal Dragon.
Yeah, meanwhile, we have a bit of a catch onto Absolute, but Redbird really with a nice, jump over, gets the shield down, but Ale is coming in from the side, supposed the Spirit Rush as well, but Turtle takes a lot of damage. The Glacial Fissure is going to be dodged by the Lantern. Nice shockwave onto Absolute that puts down a lot of damage as well, but they're still in full retreat mode, and in the meantime, Verd took down one of their base towers. It's really torn apart right now. And Team 1, forcing their conditions onto INTZ, and now top lane is open, at least champion wise. Absolute trying to get some damage there onto the turret. Nice wave clear though from Envy. No Baron buff, so that wave is gonna fall like was paper.
Yeah, so INTZ. They try to make a play on the mid lane, and it doesn't work out. And meanwhile, Renekton is split pushing in the bot side of the map. There was some, they did force out some summoners from 1, but INTZ ultimately weren't able to get a pick that they wanted. And so the siege continues on the top side. I don't think they're really going to be able to get anything. Vert is getting fairly low on the bot side of the map right now. He pops the Gargoyle Stone Plate, getting fairly ticky. He flashes onto him, and he picks up the solo kill in the 1v2.
And Ale is now trying to get something done. Verd, I guess, is going to go down after all. 1-for-1 trade, but Verd is gonna be happy with that first 3 members. And in the meantime, Team 1 again with another wave onto this turret. and they get another nice 50% of damage onto that top lane tier 1.
Yeah, so Barrett just showing his prowess on this crocodile. He ends up flashing on top of Turtle. He knows exactly what kind of damage he has at this point in the game, and he ends up picking up the kill. He's not able to follow it up with some more, but he ends up pulling people over. They get more damage on the top lane, like you said, and so it's overall, I think one's okay with that. Um, they're just really stalling out right now, I think, for the next Dragon and Baron, which are both going to be spawning around the same time. A minute 28 on the Infernal Dragon and a minute 15 on that Baron.
So both coming up at the same time. INTZ obviously looking for that in for the Elder Drake. So the trade really, like the trade INTZ wants is obviously Baron for Dragon, but obviously one doesn't want to give over that Elder Drake with 4 stacks. So they kind of have to trade the other way around, which also really isn't what they want to do. So I guess they're really gonna step away from taking any of the objectives and really want to get a pick first, so that INTZ can't take either of those two.
Yeah, INTZ, although behind, are sitting in a decent spot right now. Like you said, this is a trade that one doesn't want to make either way. They don't want to give another Infernal over to INTZ, and they don't want to give him over Baron. And playing for both of the objectives at the same time can be proved to be quite difficult. So INTZ definitely in a decent spot here, although they are down.
So
So we are seeing
Fallen pushing up the top. The waves are crashing in for INTZ. The Baron is now jumping out of his pit.
so Baron
Now
has
available.
spawned. The Elder Dragon spawning in 2 seconds here. Lucian already waiting to take it. Renekton on that side of the map as
Oh,
well.
that's an Infernal Drake.
Yeah, Infernal. And
Oh,
yeah, I was saying Infernal, I believe. But anyways, they're not going to be able to take
yeah,
this.
might
As,
have been the case.
Turtle was over as well. Here comes the Ahri. The Ahri takes away the
Oh,
dragon.
Steel
The
coming
smite
down.
isn't there from Turtle.
And now the team fight is coming down. Bird already took a lot of damage, but he's able to draw out of there. Ale is now taking all the hits, and he's going down. That's a 1-0 for Team 1, and they're immediately saying, ah, that Baron looks very squishy right now. Looks very juicy. Let's take that one. And immediately after, Vert coming in with a full health bar. Turtle takes so much damage, he definitely can't go for a steal now as well. So this is going to be a Baron for Team 1, as well as the Infernal Drake. So they're looking to finish the game within the next, I'd say, 6-7 minutes.
Yeah, that was huge. I talked about how difficult it can be to play for both objectives, but when you get a steal like that from Brewster, the Orb of Distortion from the Ahri, and they're able to pick that. They're able to steal the dragon. They get the pickups in the team fight as well, and that means that they can get Baron. So they have the Infernal Drake that they were looking for. They didn't want to give over to INTZ, and they have the Baron. So likely they're going to try to siege once again. They have a lot of chip damage onto that top lane inhibitor tower. The bot lane inhibitor is open too, so setting up some sort of 4-1 push is what I will likely end up seeing, or a 3-1-1 with Renekton in the bot lane and Ahri in the mid lane. But Ahri could be sort of caught out here if she steps too far forward.
Yeah, but Ari obviously already showed very good reactions, so I don't think she will quite be caught out by a shockwave alone. So they definitely have to get some CC on onto her before. Ale taking a decent amount of damage, doesn't really have a lot of magic resist in his build. In fact, he only has one null magic mantle there to really help him out there.
But with runes and Poppy's passive, I'm guessing she actually has, with that 25, she probably has around 40 MR, additional MR besides her base, because that's how Poppy is, and that's a fun and balanced champion for the whole family.
Yeah, but on the other hand, it's really not that not that much compared to Bruiser here, who's gonna put a lot of damage with that death cap, with that Luden's Echo, and the Sorcerer's Boots as well, shredding even more MR.
Yes, I mean the Poppy definitely not incredibly tanky to the Ari, but Ari is not the best tank killer in the game. Although she has that true damage, it's not awful, but doesn't have the consistent rotation of spells to put out. More of a burst champion, as we are seeing the culling come out in the top lane. The top lane inhibitor tower likely to fall.
Oh, here's the Glacial Fissure coming down. Nice reaction there by Mikau, putting down the Feather Storm, being invulnerable, and then jumping onto the Lantern. So he's gonna get out of there, but that's a big team fighting tool down. And now Vert is pushing into the bot lane inhibitor as well as this turret is going to down in just a second. Forlan taking a decent hit there, so he has to be careful not to fall. But the team fight might be on very soon. INTZ has to defend their base somehow. Three inhibitors have now fallen, and Team One backing off. Don't really need to put any more hurt down right now. They're going back to base. They're finishing their last items, and they're coming back with a huge wave of super minions, two per lane, obviously per wave.
Yeah, this team one here was able to take down all three inhibitors, and like you said, they're gonna go pick up their last items. Looking fairly dire here for INTZ. They really need to stall this game out until the Elder Dragon spawns, but it's not going to be here for another few minutes, and I anticipate that one is going to be able to finish the game before then.
Actually, we have Bruiser now with the Void Staff. That's going to be a massive spike in damage again, as well as the Abyssal Mask has come down for Forlan, so he's also helping out with that magic damage coming out from the Ari.
Yeah, I think the Abyssal Mask is a great pickup on almost any tank right now, as it does increase the damage of your mid laner, and it gives you health cooldown reduction, magic resist, everything you want, really. It gives more MR than the Spirit Visage does, so especially if you're not a primary like drain tank or a healing tank, I think Abyssal Mask is a great choice.
Now the waves are crashing in. INTZ definitely has to get some sort of defense down in the next 30 seconds, I think, if they want any chance to taking this game. Their inhibitors in the top lane, they're crashing now into the turrets. INTZ, they're dealing with the minions, but are they dealing with the imminent threat of annihilation? Absolute is taking a decent hit. That's gonna help them quite a lot. But the redemption is bringing up quite a lot. Life still does the rest. Team One still completely fine. Forlan takes a decent amount of damage, but he's just backing off. It's really just stalling time for those minions to take down those Nexus turrets. The first one almost about to fall right now, but Forlan took too much damage, it seems, and they're backing off one more time.
Yeah, one is going to have to retreat here. They're going to wait for the Elder Dragon to spawn. They're going to rotate over to it. They know that INTZ can't contest with all those barons down. The charm ends up missing there. They are going to look for that Elder. I think that INTZ is going to try to maybe throw out a contest. No, it looks like they're not going to contest this at all. So one going to pick up the Elder Dragon. Going to back, very likely, and then finally make the end push onto INTZ.
Yeah, they're doing this very methodically. They're very carefully. They don't want to throw this into a fight that they might not be able to win. Obviously, Mikau and Envy with some very great team fighting potential. If they can get a good combo down, you're kind of screwed. Even if you're at this point 8K gold ahead of INTZ.
Yeah, and they might actually wait one more minute for the Baron if they really want to secure this one. But although I think that with the Elder they'll be able to do so if they want to, but the extra pushing power of the minions when they get that Baron would definitely secure the win. So that's what they're gonna do. Gonna wait 50 seconds here for the Baron, then make one final push with the Baron and the Elder Dragon buffs. Or maybe
Yeah, the inhibitors seem to come up relatively soon, so I'm not sure if I agree with this one. Obviously, takes out a lot of the pressure from INTZ's shoulders, and it looks like one is willing to finish this right now. Flash, Glacial Fissure coming down, slowing everybody down. Envy is in trouble. He's in the middle of the fight. He might be the first one to fall. Forlan taking a lot of damage. He's now backing out. Ale took a lot of damage. No, Envy actually fell in that fight. Turtle is always down, and the Nexus is on the attack. The Nexus is going down. Team 1 2-0's INTZ in game 2, match 2 of this CBLoL match.
Yeah, it was. It really does. As you see these players hugging here, it really does show how Team 1 is the real deal. They're going to be able to compete with anyone in the league, and they just showed that today against INTZ. Although INTZ maybe not in their best form that they've ever been in, still a very decent team here, competitive against even the top teams, and they showed that they were able to slowly choke out INTZ in the first game. In the second game, they got behind early, but they kept the lead that INTZ gained to a minimum, and they ended up finding the opportunity, pouncing, getting back into this game, and taking it from INTZ.
And INTZ not spiteful, but definitely hurt after this loss. They're now 1-1 in this season, so they're definitely looking to get back on the horse and maybe make it to Worlds this time, and hopefully make it to Worlds for their side.
Yeah, as we are seeing the slew of replays that happens after every one of these CBLoL games. A very nice flash cocoon there from the Elise is going to set up the kill, and they don't end up getting the tower though. They end up picking up 3 kills as the Renekton gets a little too aggressive on the teleport in a few moments there. Showing another replay of a pick onto the 2 members of, or onto the Thresh rather, as Shockwave almost killed the Ahri but wasn't able to do so. Braum ends up falling as well. It's a fairly even fight here that ended up happening, but this is the big play. This is the big play when one ended up getting the pick onto Orianna early in that fight. Oh no, this is actually a different play here.
This is not quite that big team fight yet. I think it's coming up right now
here
as they get the pick.
Yeah, they get the
onto
pick onto
Envy.
Great job from the Ahri and the Olaf, and they end up winning the team fight afterwards. And very importantly, a great teleport from the Renekton. He gets onto the backside of the line and he takes out the jungler, and that's hugely important because the jungler was the one champion that could have stopped them from doing that Baron. As we are seeing the turnaround here, as Renekton flashes on top of the Elise. He knows how much damage he has. The Elise fairly squishy. He ends up falling as a response though, but it's still worth for them as they got a lot of chip damage on that turret. And eventually, this chip damage amounts into them taking down these towers once they get another Baron. Here's that last team fight that ends up winning the game for Team 1. And they end up getting a couple members down. That's all they needed, and they end up taking the Nexus in about 20 seconds there. So, if you are going to be giving an MVP here, again, I'd like to hear your opinion first. Who are you giving it
to? This time, you're actually respecting me. I think we have to give it to Vert here, putting so much pressure onto INTZ throughout that match, getting the big picks down, getting some really good teleports, except for that one, but we don't talk about that one. So I think Vert is, deserving of that MVP.
I thought Vert played pretty well. But for me, I think I have to give it to Braum. I think Braum played a very nice game here, and he set up a lot of engages. He was the primary engage tool. They didn't have the ball for Olaf this time, so they needed some other way to engage the fights, and I thought he had very, very good glacial fissures. And he ended up setting up a lot of these team fights. For me, both these games that I've watched here for Team 1 have showed me that all these players have their moments, and all of these players synergize very well together. It's difficult for me to get an MVP in either one of these games. So for me, I'm going to have to give it to the Braum man. I played really well, but it really could have been anyone almost in this game. I think Ahri played well too, and like you said, Vert put a lot of pressure on. And even though he had a number of deaths, Vert, it wasn't necessarily his fault. He got a lot of attention there.
Yeah, I think Team 1 have definitely shown today that they are deserving of being mentioned when it comes to the playoff race. And maybe even a contention to get the world spot, to get the title here at the CBLoL. Yeah, I think that's a good note to end on.
Yeah, that's going to be it for us, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. The CBLoL will be live again tomorrow, same time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss it, guys, and that's going to be it from us.
12 12 a.m. or 12? Oh wait, yeah, you're weird with with your PMs. You're you count 12-1. I remember. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. It was a pleasure to cast.
Great casting with you, Armageddon.